How many times do you guys say thank you to someone in each and every day? Well, next question probably, why would I say thank you to someone, right? If somebody is doing his or her job, and after the task, why would I say thank you to that particular person for performing it? That's a ridiculous question, right? Or do you really think it's ridiculous? Well, I don't think so. In this particular world, yes, we do have resources and we can ask resources to perform a certain task. But if they are doing it, it's not that they're doing it only for money. They're doing it for some other reasons as well. As a human being, we should thank them because we are also considering them as human beings and we are considering them as human resources. But do we really do that? It's an everywhere if you go around. Nowadays, it's evident that some or the other, somebody is trying to sell you something, but at the same point of time, maybe the product is useful to you, maybe the service is useful to you, and the other person rather, is providing it to you. So yes, you are purchasing, but you need that product too. So somebody is actually creating and delivering it to you. So why wouldn't you think about thanking that particular person for providing the product? Now you would say, I'm paying for it, right? So if money is involved, there is no thank you involved. Why do we think like that? I wouldn't blame it onto someone else. No, it's our psyche. Because of that, we are somehow or the other trained or maybe influenced like that. So say for example, if you're going to a shopping mall or maybe a restaurant somewhere, and you can see a security personnel standing right in front of that particular restaurant or the hotel or wherever it is, and you see that person opens the door for you. Now, how many times do we say thank you to that particular person? Do we really? Well, I'm sure a lot of people won't forget to tip that particular person. But how many people are exactly going to say thank you for doing the job? It's not easy to do a certain job, and it's not easy to find a person who would do that religiously. So what's the harm in thanking that particular person? Why it's not inbuilt in our system? So yes, our parents, society, relatives, some or the other, they are like that. Maybe they have been following that as well. We were never trained, we were never informed. Or maybe sometimes we were, but we didn't like it. We didn't want to take it, we didn't want to do it. The question is why? Because we don't want to thank anybody. Because we don't like to thank anybody. Now why don't we like it? The reason is, somehow or the other, we take the pride. So less gratitude, more pride. Why you are so proud of yourself? Because you are availing that service. So if you are availing that service, you are somehow or the other thinking you got the money to avail the service, and that money is somehow or the other creating pride for yourself, and that's the reason you're forgetting about others. So money can buy you anything probably in this world, but whichever is getting sold out, right? So yes, it's quite evident, but the attitude, the gesture, and all the intangible things that I previously even talked about, can you purchase all of them? No. Do you really need that? Yes, we do. Think about your acquaintances, think about your friends, think about your family. If you're doing something for them, you do expect thank you from them. But whenever the other person is doing that, that other person is also expecting, because it's in our brain. That's how we are built, because we still haven't been able to transition to become a robot, I would say. So I don't know why it's still there. I don't know why people are still thinking about it in that manner. We really don't say thank you to anybody typically. Whoever is performing certain tasks maybe every day for our safety, for our well-being. for everything. Yeah, sometimes it does wonder. I typically try to thank each and everybody, every day probably. But yes, sometimes even I miss out on that. I can't deny that particular fact because I need to learn, I need to follow, which I'm probably not following with 100% accuracy. But yes, this is the time for us to learn all those things and follow, because that is a process. We are still not accepting it as a process. It's about gratitude, it's about gesture. But if you sum all those things up, it comes down to process. So we need to follow a process. And why not? What's the harm? Just showcase your heart, showcase your gratitude by saying thank you. But yes, nowadays the biggest thing which I have observed, even a lot of people are saying it, but it's certainly sound like a thankless thank you. Now you're gonna ask me, what is thankless thank you? So maybe it's a word I'm reiterating, but I'm not actually thanking that particular person. If you are saying thank you to the other person, if the other person is not buying it, that means you are not saying it through your heart. You're saying it, your lips are saying it, your mouth is saying that, but not your heart. And trust me, the other person can easily identify. Think about yourself. If somebody says thank you to you in a thankless manner, won't you be able to recognize the other person can do that? But yes, thankless things are going on, and thankless attitude is probably everywhere nowadays. But yes, somehow or the other we need to work on it. It's not easy to learn how to thank you someone thanklessly, but I think somehow or the other it's becoming pretty easier for us to ignore and also insult the other person, just taking the pride and just moving away. That's what I believe. But yes, when it comes down to humanity, when it comes down to emotions, deep down inside you will think about it twice. So yes, thankless thank you is everywhere nowadays. We do use it a lot, maybe a lot more than the previous years. But yes, time has come to feel, time has come to thank everyone, probably from the bottom of your heart. It's not about you are actually creating something, you are just spreading peace.